r/ask Reddit. What's a super genius way to hide something in your house? Treat it as being super extra important, so you hide it in a super extra important place in the house. Then tell yourself you'll always remember where it is because it's in that super extra important place. In my experience, you'll never find it again. My great-grandparents apparently hid a fortune's worth of ivory somewhere in their house, forgot where it was, offered to let any of their grandkids keep it if they could find it, and then died years later having never found the ivory. Some random people live in that house now and potentially have quite the surprise waiting for them. Inside of trophies. Mine are all hollow. That would require being good at something. Nah, you only have to be good at buying trophies. Yep, you can just buy it and customize it to say whatever you want. Mine says, number 1 at hiding things and trophies. I just hid something inside a jar. Put a toilet paper tube in the middle, then fill the sides with dog food biscuits. The odd part was, he was hiding dog food biscuits. Also odd, he has no dog. In the summer, winter jacket pockets. My favorite day is when it's cold enough to put on your winter jacket for the first time and you find some bounty, usually change, a Ricola, or a ticket stub. I like to leave myself a couple bucks in my coat pockets when I put them away in the spring. When it gets cold again, I get a present. Fake electrical outlet. Looks like a regular outlet but has no wiring. You can keep a small wad of cash or anything in similar size until someone goes to use the outlet. You can get a blank plate cover. Nobody will duck with that. My ex hid wads of $100s in the mouth of a VCR. That's where my kid used to hide spoonfuls of yogurt. I used to think I could hide my weed from my mom in the towel in the bass drum of my drum set. One day I reached in and found a note instead. It said, not as smart as you think you are, so not that way. If she's not a drummer, she wouldn't understand the towel and would assume it was nonsense you made up to hide stuff. If she was a drummer, she'd definitely had that thought before about it being a good hiding place because it seems so innocuous. I would have thought that was a genius way to hide stuff, but the older I get the more I understand how my own mom's brain works. As a kid, I saw that whomever had put the floor trim in my room didn't do a great job measuring. There was a section in one corner of the room, under my bed, that was about 18 inches long and held in with a single nail. I found that I could simply pull it out, and the whole thing would swing out like a door. So I took a knife and cut out the drywall, just enough that if the trim was replaced, you'd never see the hole. I kept everything in there from porn to cash to weed. As a paranoid child with fairly conservative parents, I thought of all sorts of creative places to hide things. I should be a law enforcement consultant. I can find any hiding place. Hi Charlie, it's Dad. Inside electronics. A lot of electronics has spare room inside. False wall and closet. Either the back of the closet, top of the closet, or a wall that doesn't have a door next to it. Harder to see the missing space. Drawers. False bottom. Underneath a drawer. Or tape behind a drawer. On top of cabinets. Especially with a false top to cover whatever you're hiding. Behind the backing of a picture. Best with those cheap photo frames that are easy to disassemble. False middle to a bottle of soda. Toilet tank. Taped up under sink near the front board. Make your own false book. Works best with large bookcase. Inside a large chair or couch that's not properly sealed up underneath. Behind washing machine. Under dishwasher. None of these will stop a dedicated person from finding them. A few of the appliance-based ones can be discovered if someone else does a repair on them. A few require some effort to make false cavities, but between the variety it will be hard to figure out where. This guy hides shit. Inside a Holmes & Watson DVD case. It will never be opened. Definitely not worth stealing. Only risk is someone possibly decides to incinerate it. Surely a thief would be suspicious that someone actually owns a copy of Holmes & Watson and check it immediately. When I was a teenager I got my hands on a Playboy magazine. This was just before we had internet at home, which changed the game of course. My mom knew I had it but I was just old enough where she decided to tolerate a few boobs. Still, in the conversation we had about it, she bet that if I was trying to hide a magazine from her, she would be able to find it. I accepted her challenge and told her to give me a little while to come up with hiding place. I had a chair with a cushion made of foam with a fabric cover, like a typical couch cushion. I removed the fabric cover and cut a slit into the foam, inserting the magazine in the middle of the cushion. I then turned the cushion around so that the slit was on the inside and couldn't be seen if you unzipped it. I put the foam back in the cushion and put it back on the chair. Couldn't feel anything sitting on it. My mom searched for a good while and could not find it. I think even if someone tore your house up completely, they likely wouldn't take the foam out of the couch cushions and carefully inspect it from all sides. Thieves don't care about your shit. If they think you have something they want, they think you keep large amounts of cash, drugs etc in your house, they'll just slash your cushions, lounges etc looking for it. Put it wherever you keep losing your keys. If you lose your keys often, put them in the fridge with your lunch. Can't leave without keys, and if you forget lunch, now you got keys and a lunch. Have misplaced my keys on more than one occasion. I have one of those front doors that lock from the inside using a key. No get out of house. If it's flat, money, in books, you can repurpose empty food and cleaner containers to hide bigger objects. Only flat things? Whatever happened to cutting out the inside of a book in the shape of a rock hammer? I never understood why he took that risk. Like the warden was super religious. What if he randomly decided to look inside Andy's Bible? He'd be ducked. Should have put the rock hammer in the tunnel he was making. At least then, if he gets caught, he gets caught. Read this as what's a super genius way to hide in your house and was convinced Op was wanting to work on their hide and seek game. Friend of mine, ex-criminal, had that problem when police raided his house. The gun he owned was not legal, so he threw it in a pot full of beans. While they were on a stew, cooking, he saved his ass. Sorry for bad English though. Did he still eat the stew? Of course he did. Leftover gun. Throw it in baby. You've got the stew going. 2 words. Tampon box. Yes, that's also a great way to smuggle shots to a venue. The second they peek into a bag and see feminine hygiene products, it's an immediate keep going. I will warn against this. A particularly zealous bouncer at an event we recently attended found something hidden in my friend's tampon box in her purse. To be fair, it was a black tie event, so a full tampon box may have been a suspicious thing to have in one's purse as opposed to a couple loose in the bag. If you're trying to smuggle something into an event, then on your person is always best. They can't get too invasive with every guest. I have a Barbasol shaving can that unscrews from the bottom, similar to where Newman kept the Dino DNA in Jurassic Park. Hey, Dodgson. Hey everyone, Dodgson here. See, no one cares. Nice try FBI. Not today, CIA. Dirty tricks, MI6. Nothing to see, KGB. Next question. What are the super genius passwords to your bank accounts? PRSSWORD. If you want to be really tricky, add a 1 to the end. No one will ever guess it. My boyfriend is tall. Anything I don't want him to see goes at the back of the lowest shelf. And whatever he doesn't want you to see is at the back of the highest shelf. Happy hunting. Become a hoarder. Fill your house with every piece of random junk you come across. Anything you own will become hidden. When I was around 15, just started smoking weed, I got a piece of plasterboard and painted it black, matching texture and color of the surrounding shelving, and made a false back. I was able to hide my tooth for years and my parents didn't realize I'd made it till we moved out 4 years later. Tooth. That's a new one. I have a triple monitor mount where the main pipe everything attaches to. Well, pop the cap off that pipe. I 3D printed a long tubular container with several compartments and boom. Hidey spot that no one would ever check. Wrap it in a black plastic bag and put it in the fridge. Nobody ever opens that shit. That's the very first place the cops are going to look. Anything cold. There's all sorts of hiding modifications you can upgrade into your house, but a few ideas with existing spots and a fair amount of tape. If you're just hiding cash, then an envelope between the picture and the backing in a picture frame is a good one. Another cash idea is to tape an envelope underneath the back cover of a book between the pages will leave a more visible indent, and put it on a bookshelf. For small objects packages, you can unscrew the vent cover on an air vent and place it inside. Just make sure you have a way to get it back out if it's a vertical shaft. Perhaps tape a string to the inside of the vent attached to the object. The inside of some couches will swallow a remote or a phone easily enough if it drops between the cushions. That same interior can hide objects. Just flip the couch and tape them into place on the frame. If you have old appliances that don't work, you can rip out the guts and hide things inside the casing. Just make sure no one throws it out. Another cache spot would be behind a drawer in a set of dressers. Pull the drawer all the way out, tape an envelope on the back of the cavity, and replace the drawer. Even if someone pulls out the drawers to toss the contents for valuables, they should miss it unless they lower their head level to see it. In truth, any container will do if there's enough of them and they're nondescript enough for a burglar to not go through. Who's gonna know that the paint can on the bottom of a pile of 6 full ones in the basement is empty and has some family jewelry stashed in it? Or that one of the boxes of pasta in the back of the pantry has been emptied out and had some money hidden inside? Most burglaries are smash and grabs, and they're there just to grab what valuables they can carry and get out. They won't have the time or inclination to flip through every book and container. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.